Alright, welcome back to a new lecture. We're going to be talking about the Swish Pattern or Swoosh Pattern in NLP. I know the name sounds funny, Swish, but it is an amazing method. It's a beautiful method that you can use. This is probably my second favorite NLP method, and the reason being is because it's not as easy as anchoring, but it's just as effective, and in certain situations, even more effective. I have had countless of clients use the Swish pattern to change negative habits, to change addictive habits, to change thought patterns, change how they behave in certain situations or in certain environments. And it works like magic. That's the beauty of neurolinguistic programming, that we look at the methods and we think they're very simple, which they are. And we have this preconditioned belief that if something is simple and easy, it means that it's not good or it's not worth it or it doesn't work. That's not true. That's why neurolinguistic programming is so huge, is because it's simple yet highly effective. And I know I said that again and again, but I want to say it once more because I want you to really understand how powerful these methods that we're talking about can be. And for clients' privacy purposes, I can't really go through the details of what my clients experienced, but I can tell you that I've seen countless people really changing their entire life just by using some simple NLP methods. And now you can do it too. So what is the Swish or Swoosh pattern? What is it and when to use it? Well, the Swish or Swoosh pattern is an NLP method used to change or control your emotional state or behavior associated with a certain event or experience. If you remember, in anchoring, we focus on recreating an emotional state when it comes to a certain anchor or stimulus. But now, we want to change the emotional state when it comes to a certain event or experience, a behavior per se. And when can you use it? Well, you can use the Swish pattern when you need a confidence boost, or a change in your mindset or emotional state when it comes to a certain experience or events. So maybe you have this bad habit of being very stressed whenever you have an exam. Well, you can use the Swish pattern to change how you feel, to change the emotional state that you feel when you're writing the exam. And that's what we're going to do with this Swish pattern, or with the Swoosh pattern. And before I dive into the method and how you can use it, I want to open your mind to some ideas. I want you to start looking at your brain differently. I want you to look at it as a computer, okay? But first, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of how your subconscious brain can be influencing your present states. See, now we all have thoughts programmed in our subconscious brain related to the concepts of personal wealth, income, and money, all right? And in a study done on lottery winners, researchers found that lottery winners are more likely to declare bankruptcy within 3 to 5 years. But how is that even possible? If you receive $10 million right now, do you think that you might lose all of that money within 3 to 5 years? Now, right now, most of you are probably thinking that there's no way you would lose all that money in 3 to 5 years. Heck, in 10 years, maybe a lifetime. $10 million can be a lot of money. However, your subconscious brain thinks otherwise. If you are conditioned to believe that in order for you to live an abundant life, that you don't need more than $4,000 a month, your subconscious brain will guide you and steer you in a way to earn $4,000 a month. Even if you make more than that, your subconscious brain will steer you and guide you towards spending whatever extra income you got to go back to $4,000 a month. It's crazy, but it's how your subconscious brain works. It works based on maps and formulas and conditioning. And when we talk about the conscious mind, we talk about the creative mind. When we talk about the subconscious mind, we talk about the habit mind, the repetitive mind, all right? So let's go back to the computer example. Imagine you have a computer, and this computer, of course, has certain specifications when it comes to memory, space, functioning speed, and utility capacity. And if you were to download a professional video editing software on that computer that surpasses its functioning capacity, what's going to happen is that as soon as you open the software, it's going to take a while for it to launch, and then as you use it, it's going to glitch and run slowly, and you'll have a very hard time working on it. Eventually, you end up closing the program and deleting it, as you can't operate it using your current computer. Instead, you decide to download a basic software that your computer can actually handle and that you can finally edit your videos on. But it is nowhere near as good as it could have been if you were editing on the professional software. Now, this computer is your subconscious brain. And the creative video editing aspect is your conscious brain. Remember, the conscious brain is the creative mind, the subconscious brain is the habit mind. So just like your computer has a fixed capacity, your subconscious brain also has this capacity. Now, what created this capacity? Your thoughts, social influences, experiences, environment, beliefs, etc. All of the factors that shape the capacity of your subconscious brain, those are the factors. Now, if you have a goal where you want to make, let's say, $200,000 in 1 year, the only thing standing between the goal-setting process and the goal achievement is simply your subconscious brain. If your computer is programmed to operate on a level where you can make $50,000 a year, it would be impossible to try and make $200,000 a year. Your subconscious brain will create obstacles, doubts, negative thoughts, and detrimental behaviors to make sure that you don't exceed that $50,000. Why? Because your subconscious brain is your habit brain. It is very hard to try and break a habit. You know that. And your subconscious brain will fight for its survival. Whenever you set a goal that seems out of reach, when it comes to your processing capacity, you will not be functioning properly. And this is exactly what happens when we set New Year resolutions, for example. Why is it that more than 90% of the people who set New Year resolutions would end up dropping them and quitting by January 14th, 14 days in? It's because they were operating on a conscious level, and your conscious brain has a limited capacity. Your willpower is limited. And this is the first part of the answer. Yes, your subconscious brain is indeed limited in its capacity. Hence the myth that says we only use 10% of our brain capacity. Now, when you set a goal and you try to achieve it, what happens is that for the first 2-3 days, you are excited and motivated to achieve it. Even when you feel lazy or tired, you gather the motivation you have and you keep working towards achieving the goal. Nonetheless, your willpower is like a battery and it gets drained. That's why when people decide to go on a diet, they are way more likely to eat a large pizza at night in opposed to a healthy salad they had in the morning. It's because when you wake up in the morning, your willpower's battery is well charged and ready to help you overcome temptation. But at night, when you use your willpower throughout the entire day, it gets drained and your conscious brain can't help you anymore. And this is where the subconscious brain would step in and throw you off the right track into your old habits. However, if your subconscious brain was also wired based on a healthy diet, when your conscious brain fails to operate, your subconscious brain steps in and takes care of the job. But it keeps you on your diet. You always use your brain capacity to its fullest, but what happens is when there's a contradiction between what you consciously want and what you subconsciously believe, then the brain capacity starts to become limited as you are going through a fight with yourself. You're losing energy as you're fighting your own self. And if you want to use your brain capacity to its fullest, you need to make sure that your subconscious brain is working with you and not against you. And the way you can do that in any given situation is to use the Swish pattern and rewire your brain to react in a certain way where your conscious thoughts and your subconscious beliefs are well aligned, and then you don't even need the willpower or motivation. You just have this energy within that pushes you towards achieving what you want to achieve. So now let's start talking about how you can use the Swish pattern. Now, the process is going to be long. Not just the process of you doing it, but me explaining it, because I want to take the time to help you really understand it well. I don't want anybody to leave this lecture not knowing what the Swish or Swish pattern is. And if you do leave the lecture feeling like that, go and check out the ebook that I have on NLP in the course and the action book that can help you use the Swish pattern properly. But for now, let's get to the explanation. Step number 1, you want to pick a comfortable spot where you won't be disturbed. Lay down or sit in the chair, whatever is comfortable for you, and be highly alert and well focused, as this exercise demands a very good level of awareness to be done properly. So make sure there's nothing around you that would distract you. Now, with your eyes closed, take a few deep breaths to relax yourself while maintaining a state of awareness. You want to set up the proper mood. play your favorite music in the background, or whatever you need to be comfortable and positive, alright? Now before we get to step 2, I want to explain to you something you need to do beforehand. Beforehand, you want to pick an experience or an event that makes you feel in a certain way negative, or that brings out negative emotions in you. A perfect example I can think of, which we discussed in the anchoring example, is, let's say, social gatherings or social situations. This can be the scenario that you imagined, and then we want to use the Swish pattern to install how you actually want to feel when you encounter that event. Or the other example that we talked about, also stressing in your exam. So what you would want to work on here is your state of mind while writing exams or while studying for an exam. So once you do your brainstorming and you know what you want to work on, we move to step number 2. Picture in your mind's eye yourself doing either a scenario you're trying to install or a bad habit that you're trying to quit. Depending on whether you are trying to install a habit or eliminate one, the Swish pattern would be used differently. Now, remember how we said your subconscious brain and your conscious brain, they're like a computer? In this example, you want to imagine in your mind's eye what you're looking at as a computer screen, right? Don't actually see it as a computer, but just pick the idea of having a screen in front of you. Your mind's eye will be projected on a screen where you can see what's happening, a little movie you're playing or an image that you're seeing. And when you think about the new emotional state that you want to recreate in a certain event or a certain experience, what you're going to do is you want to take that image and put it on the screen in your mind's eye. See how you would be if you're not stressed about your exam, how you would feel motivated, and feel it, embody it, all right? Just create a mental scenario of this perfect reality that you want to create for yourself. And make the image as sharp and vivid as possible. See it in detail and try to experience what you feel on the inside and the outside when you're thinking about this habit. Feel yourself writing with a pencil, for example, while you hear, your professor saying, it's time to start the exam. Put details into it, make it vivid, make it sharp. And now ask yourself, what is the desired state that you want to have linked to this habit or this experience? And make sure to memorize that state you're trying to install, whether it's more courage, more confidence, more self-esteem, whatever it is. And now moving to step number 3. As you previously prepare for this, you will already know what new desired states you're trying to link to the habit or situation. And now, I know some of you might be saying, we never talked about previously preparing for this. You will use the action book provided in this course to prepare for the Swish pattern and do it effectively. If you follow the information I'm giving you here to understand how it works, and then you use the action book, you will be going step by step through the Swish pattern. Now, we want to create the second image, which is your current reality. How you, right now, handle the situation or this event. So think about how you would normally feel in that situation and project what it looks like on the screen. Now make sure that both images are well formed, sharp and vivid, and that you can see both images. When you look through your mind's eye on the screen, you can see the first image, which is what you're trying to establish, how you would act in an exam situation when you're feeling confident and high levels of self-esteem, and another picture of how you currently feel. You feel stressed and you feel discouraged. Remember when I said it's like a computer? Imagine you have 2 little pictures in front of the screen on the computer split in half, all right? And you also need to be aware of the internal state that each and every one of these images that you formed is correlated with. So let's say to the left, you have the image of your current reality, and when you look at it, you can feel the internal state of stress and discouragement. And on the right, you have the image of your preferred reality, and when you look at it, you can feel confidence, and you can feel courage, and you can feel that you're ready to tackle it. And now we move on to step number 4. Now we will call the first image the current reality, and the second image the preferred reality. Observe the current reality vividly for some time, right? Then what you need to do is minimize it in your mind's eye as you would on your computer. So now what you have is the image of your preferred reality where you feel confident, maximized, and on the bottom right of the screen, you have a minimized image of how you currently act in a state of stress and discouragement. But before you minimize it, what I want you to do is change the colors and the vividness of the image of your current reality where you feel stress. Make it black and white. Make it disappealing. Make it a bit distorted, alright? So it's not very appealing to your subconscious brain, and then you minimize it. And then in front of you, you see the image of your preferred reality where you feel confident, and then empower it. Add colors to it, make it vibrant, make it alive, see the details and see the internal state that's associated with it. Now in step number 5, we will switch. You will minimize the preferred reality image in a way where you can still see it in the corner. And it is as if in your mind's eye is acting like a screen computer, right? You will now maximize the current reality image and observe it. All right, while having the preferred reality image minimized at the bottom corner of your mental screen. Again, if this is getting a bit confusing, the ebook and the action book will explain all of those concepts better. Now, as you look at the screen, there's the maximized image of your current reality of stress, where you see it in black and white and a bit distorted and you don't like it. And in the bottom corner, there's the image of your preferred reality where you feel confident and it's minimized. You want to make sure that you focus well until you can see both the maximized image of your current reality as well as the minimized corner image of your preferred reality. Now we get to step number 6. When you're ready, you will make a swish or swoosh sound in your mind, or you can say it out loud, and you'll replace the current reality image, which is maximized, entirely with the image of your preferred reality. And make sure that when you do so, that you not only switch the images, but also the emotional state linked to the image. And you want to keep repeating the process until you get to the point where the moment you think about the situation or habit, the preferred reality image and internal state dominate your inner world. As soon as you think about yourself writing an exam, you don't feel stressed anymore, you feel confidence. And I want to walk you through a bit more information about the Swish pattern, and I will be giving you a solid example at the end of this lecture. So make sure you stick and listen to it, because if the steps didn't really make a lot of sense, as soon as I get to the example, you will be able to understand it a lot better. Now let's talk about some basic things that you need to keep in mind. The first thing is that you need to prepare. It is essential to be prepared before you start the process. Brainstorm and map out everything you need for this process, or simply use the action book that I provided. The second thing is details. Details are important. Make sure that the desired state picture is colorful, alive, bright, and vice versa, so it's appealing to the subconscious brain, because your subconscious brain communicates through images primarily. The next thing is association. You want to associate a negative or painful emotional state with the current picture and vice versa. When you do that, and automatically your subconscious brain wants to avoid pain and embrace pleasure, you will start working in the process effectively. And the last thing is to get creative. You can get creative with this method. Do what you have to do to reinforce the desired states. Tony Robbins uses the Swish pattern in a different way, and this is how he got creative about it. So when you're doing the swish or the swoosh, when you're switching the two images and you say swoosh, what he does is he tells people to imagine themselves putting their arm up and imagine grabbing the minimized photo or the minimized image, and then when they do swish, that they grab it with their hand and they put it in front of the screen, and then it gets maximized. So this is how you can get creative with it, and there's going to be more information about that in the ebook. And lastly, you need to know what to do once you're done. So first thing, you just finish the process. Careful not to fall into reverse swish, otherwise you'd cancel the process. So make sure that the images don't get reversed before you finish the process. You want to make sure that the projected image on your screen in your mind's eye is the image of your preferred reality. The second thing is to clear the anchored image. Now before you open your eyes, clear the image, clear your mind, take a deep breath, focus on your breath, and then open your eyes. Step number 3, repeat the process for at least 4 times, 3 to 4 times. You can do that in a row or at different instances. So as you're sitting, all right, you're doing the swish pattern, you're seeing both images, and you do swish first time, you switched it. and then you see it again, and then swish another time. You swished it again, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, as many times as you need, all right? As many times as you want. And then you stop. And then if you're not there, and then when you think about you writing an exam, you don't feel the state there, just do the swish pattern again. And number 4 is to track your progress. You will know that the method was successful for you when, as soon as you think about the event, the desired image is the first to pop out in your head. Now, that being said, I will give you an example. I'm going to go back to the example where we talked about a situation that makes you uncomfortable, or a social situation. So let's say you have a hard time dealing with social gatherings and social situations. You don't know what to say, you get a bit timid, you get a bit nervous, all right? How do we use the swish pattern to work on that? Well, you sit down, and then you see the image of your current reality. You see how you currently do and feel in social situations. You would see yourself, for example, I don't know, biting your nails, looking around, being agitated, being stressed. Just look at it, and then make this image ugly. Make it black and white. Make it a bit dim. Make it unappealing, all right? Then put it aside. Put it on the side of the screen. And then put another image of how you would want to feel. How do you actually want to feel in social situations? How do you want to act? How do you want to react? You see yourself walking into a social situation or a social gathering, wearing your best clothes, for example, feeling as good as all hell, feeling amazing, feeling super confident, going to people, talking to them, acing the conversation, going to someone else, talking again, acing the conversation, leaving saying, oh my God, like, we love talking to this person. He's amazing, right? You want to see that picture, that image in your mind's eye on the screen, and then add more colors to it. Make it a sunny day, a vibrant day where everything is beautiful. There's roses everywhere. I don't know what your perception of beautiful and vibrant is, but add it to the image, whatever it is. Make it as appealing as possible. And now, when you look at the screen in your mind's eye, you will see on one side the ugly image of your current reality, that you made it black and white and dim and all that. And on the other side, there's the image of your preferred reality, where you acted with confidence and you handled the social situations very, very well. And not only that, but you also know exactly what internal state, what emotions and feelings are associated with each and every one of them. When you look to your current reality, you feel the emotions of stress. When you look into your preferred reality image, you feel confident, you feel alive, you feel vibrant. And then minimize this image of your preferred reality. Put it aside on the bottom corner, and in front of you is the image of your current reality. And what you do is, you look at them, observe them, and now take a conscious decision that no more. You don't want to act like that anymore, and say swoosh. As soon as you say swoosh, what happens is the minimized image just kind of like kicks the current image out of the frame, and that it takes the entire frame. Now, what you can see on the screen in your mind's eye is only the picture of your preferred reality. And as you look at it, observe it and see how you feel. Now repeat. The images are back there again. One is maximized, one is minimized. Swoosh. Again, you see the preferred reality image as a big image filling the screen, and really consciously feeling how you would feel in that situation, feeling confident, feeling empowered, feeling vibrant. And then repeat that for maybe 3-4 times. And then take a deep breath. As we said, follow the steps that we talked about, what to do once you're done, right there, right here in front of you on the screen. And then you want to test after a while if it's working. So you sit down, you close your eyes, and you just imagine yourself in a social situation. What's the first image that pops in your head? All right? The first image, in the first 3 to 5 seconds, what's the first image that pops in your head? Is it an image of you being confident and being comfortable and handling the situations properly? Or you being stressed and agitated? And if you don't see the image of your preferred reality, do the exercise again. Go through the notes, go through the ebooks, go through all of that. See if maybe you missed out on some information, and then try it again. Keep trying the swish pattern until as soon as you sit down and think about the situation or the experience that you used the swish pattern on, it automatically generates the image of your preferred reality and the internal state, emotions and feelings associated with it. So guys, That was a long lecture. I know that. Almost 25 minutes, and it was long. However, you can see how this method can be effective. You can literally use the swish pattern in different areas in your life. Whatever experience or event that you have where you don't feel a certain way, you can even use it with habits. Get creative with it, right? Use the swish pattern, use it as many times as you want to change as many aspects of your life as you want and as you need. And you will start noticing the change bit by bit. Now, don't overwhelm yourself. Don't use the swish pattern on the first day for 10 different things. Start with one, perfect it, master it, and make sure that it's embedded into your subconscious brain. And once it is, then move on to the next one. With that being said, I probably need to go drink some water after talking for 26 minutes, but I'll leave you with the ebook and the action book that you can use as references to use the swish pattern properly and use it better. And I'll see you all in the next lecture.